my art. Hey guys, it's AnnewithanE1239 here, and I'm here to give you guys a rant video. This is like my second rant video in this month. This is a response video to John the Almost Famous's video about competing in fandoms. We both used to be a part of the Girl Meets World fandom actually, so that's how I know her and stuff. But this video and this topic actually got me thinking about the AnnewithanE fandom specifically. I would say that there is a sense of competing in every fandom actually, but like I'm gonna talk about this fandom because that's what I know. So first off, I just want to say that if I've ever come off as someone who is trying to compete in this fandom and wants to like know the most, I'm very sorry about that. I've tried not to give up that vibe just because I have a YouTube channel. I may come off as someone who has an authoritative voice, but I definitely don't. I can just spew out BS and it doesn't have to mean anything because I have this platform. I guess people assume that I'm more than I actually am. I just want to start off by saying that. Second of all, no, I'm not competing in this fandom. Genuinely think we are all equal. Just because I've been lucky enough to meet people, it's only really based on the lucky fact that I live in Toronto and I'm able to, I don't know, go to events and stuff. And I've realized recently, sorry, I'm like going off and stuff. I've realized recently, which is kind of a wake-up call, I guess, the way people treated me when I met the cast versus the way people treated me before. Not that it's really changing like the type of affection I get, but it's increased a lot. And I think that tends to happen in fandoms. I don't know how to explain this. If someone in a fandom meets a cast member or a celebrity that pertains to that fandom, the people in the fandom usually start to treat that person differently. I can understand that a lot now, and that's not necessarily bad. It really depends on the person's intentions, the person that's treating that person that way, you know, because there's a lot of using, and not just this fandom, in every fandom. Ill intentions sometimes, and that's something I've had to think about a lot because if I'm friends with people, then why are they treating me this certain way, and am I being too naive in believing that everyone that watches my videos or says that they like me is actually genuine or is trying to be my friend for a different reason. So yeah, that's kind of something I wanted to bring up because there's a lot of that. I've definitely noticed that, and I'm not saying to everyone because I know that there are some very genuine people in the fandom, but that's just something I've felt for a long time. Just wanted to bring that up. Sorry, I just stayed. So third thing I wanted to say is sometimes competing in fandoms also has to do with money. Because of the fact that there are some people that are privileged enough to afford things. I mean, in this fandom, we don't really have that big of an issue when it comes to money because there's no official AnnewithanE merch. Most of the events, if not almost like all of them, are free, but then there can be scenarios where people travel from like different countries or different cities and they spend money to get here, you know? Not everyone can do that, I get that. Now, I guess the next thing that I want to talk about, I hope I've never come off as someone who knows everything about the show or knows everything about Anne of Green Gables in general, because I definitely am not someone who knows everything about the show and Anne of Green Gables. I have not watched an episode of AnnewithanE since like Christmas. That's like the truth. And that doesn't mean it's because I'm not a fan of the show. Usually I don't like to overwatch stuff, so I always forget about like details that happen in the show. I don't know every single line in the show, and for that reason I can make mistakes. You know, if I say something in my videos, sometimes I don't really know, you know, like I sometimes say like, oh, I don't remember, but I think this happened, and then I'm also not the best theorist around. I think all the theories that I talk about, like the ones that I make up, are very flawed and very obvious. They can be very obvious. They're not like groundbreaking or anything like that. And then when it comes to Anne of Green Gables, the only real adaptation that I can be like a bit more sure of is the 1980s version, which isn't even very true because the two movies that come after the first one, I have only watched them in Spanish. I don't really know everything about those two movies, and I haven't watched them in a very long time, even though I edit with them. I don't really know them that well. And then also, like, the most important fact of this entire thing is the fact that I haven't finished reading the books. So how could I know like all of the facts about Anne? I don't. I'm actually probably one of the least educated persons when it comes to Anne because of the fact that I haven't read the books yet, and I am going to. Even when I do, even when I get to that, doesn't mean I'm going to know everything about Anne because I'm gonna forget. I'm a human, I'm not perfect. So in that sense, I don't think I've ever tried to compete in the fandom. I don't know everything. So that's another thing. Like, I hope you guys don't take all of my videos very seriously because I don't know everything. But then there's also a sense, I think, I've talked about this before obviously, but people who sense if people get noticed then they're trying to compete with you. Those are points, you know, if you get noticed then you get points for getting noticed. I don't think that's really the case because you can't really control the fact that you're gonna get noticed. I'm not someone who's very concerned with competing against other Anne members in the fandom. Not at all. I don't want to compete and I don't want people to think that they have to compete with me. There's no best member in the fandom. And I'm saying that as someone who's been called the queen of the fandom a lot. I always have believed that that title that people have given me has just been very jokey and lighthearted. It's not meant to be taken seriously. So I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry if you've ever thought that it was a serious thing because literally I don't own a crown. But yeah, if you guys have any thoughts about that, even in other fandoms as well, I've never wanted to compete with anyone, and I hope I haven't come off that way. I think we are all equal, as I said in the very beginning. If you guys have any thoughts about what I just said, I'm sorry if like my thoughts are probably very jumbled. I feel like alphabet soup right now actually. But if you guys have any thoughts on what I said, if anything it made sense, please leave a like in this video, leave a comment but give this video a thumbs up if you agree, I guess, or enjoy this video. Subscribe to my channel if you guys want. Follow me on all my social media accounts, they should be appearing on the screen right now. I hope you guys have an amazing day or night, or whatever time you guys are watching this. Mwah. Knock on wood for Selma, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Whew, okay, that was I don't even know what that was. I don't know what that was. Alright, bye.